Okay, I thought I'd make a video of some of my project. I'm working on this 67 Mustang Convertible. First thing I want to go over is personal protection equipment. I was using this dust mask yesterday. You can see the stuff I would have breathed into my lungs if I didn't have this mask on. It's really important when you're grinding to protect your eyes, because shards of metal will be flying, bouncing, hot metal. You don't need that in your eye. Those are the two main things. I don't recommend gloves when I'm grinding, but when I'm working with a hammer tool or anything like that that's not rotating, I'll use gloves. But you really shouldn't use gloves on anything rotating, because the rotating part can catch a glove and then twist your finger up and break your finger off. So it's very dangerous to use gloves while you're grinding. You'll see me grinding without gloves, and that's the reason why. You don't really need to use them. Now, welding, you want to use leather gloves. Using any cut tools that's grinding, you need to not use gloves. Shards of metal is not going to really hurt your skin that much. Might burn you a little bit, but you can just knock it off. It's no big deal. You know, of course, I got that tea there. I need to keep hydrated while you're working and not get too hot. But this is my project right here. I got some rust back here. That's I used some acid, so I pulled the rust out of the metal. Metal, believe it or not, is somewhat porous. Not really porous, but it does have some pores to it. And I used acid to pull the rust out of the metal. And I'll grind that off and make it nice and polished. I got a little 2-inch zip tool down there that I use for that. And then that's my grinder wheel that I use for grinding the weld spots off. You'll get, when you pull the panels off, you'll get little weld dimples that come up. You got to grind it off all flat, so when you put your sheet of metal onto the surface, it lays flat, so you can weld it in and it holds really good. Debating where I'll replace that firewall. Looks like I'm going to. I do have another firewall to replace it with. It's sitting over my pile of parts right there in the corner, right next to the ladder. But I'll probably stop it from here, and then I'll probably show some of the grinding I do. I got me a little tripod set up, redneck style, to record. And I use my floor pan as a kind of a shield. I got a freezer over there and some stuff I don't want to catch fire, so I'm using that as a little shield to shield sparks from going over there. The frame itself shields a lot of the sparks, but I like to be extra careful. I got everything gas out of here. I took my Harley out of here. Anything with gas in it, the lawnmower. I do have a fire extinguisher handy, so if anything that does catch on fire, I put it out real quick. This is the 289 that's going in it. It's the matching motor, came with the car. I've got the matching tag right there on it, matching numbers, everything matches. And this is the transmission that came with the car. I'm going to rebuild the motor and rebuild the transy also. I've not rebuilt a transmission before, but I think I can get it. It's pretty straightforward. Clutch and plate removable and replace. This is a 351 I'm going to put in a 69 fastback that I have. It's not a matching numbers, but it's going to be it's the same year and the same model of the motor that came with the car. And this baby right here is a 429. This 429, that's going in my 1970 fastback that I have, and I'm probably going to 2-bit and race it. I priced a Pro Charger, and Pro Charger $7,000, and the transmission to go on the front of the Pro Charger for the motor is another $4,000. So I got to save my money up to get that. But that beast right there will turn out some horsepower once I get a Pro Charger on it. It's kind of slow right now on the start out, but once I get a Pro Charger on it, it's going to come off the line with the wheels up, guaranteed. But I'll get to it. I'm ready to get to it and get this project going, and I'll try to cut this and get this on the computer and everything before I upload it, so it looks halfway decent. But getting this rust out and getting new floor pan in, and I'm anxious to do that and get the firewall done. Then on the front, I got everything new on this to replace. I got the radiator support. I've got everything to replace on this. So once I get the floor pan in, welded in, then I'll work on the firewall, because structurally this thing is still together. It's not swaying. So if I get the floor pan in, that's going to rigid it up enough that it won't fall apart while I replace the firewall. Those are two major tasks. Once I get those done, this other shouldn't be too bad. And I get it knocked out and get it cleaned up and get this thing painted, and it'll look good. Can't wait to drive it. Interior is going to cost some money, but I want it to look nice when I get it done. The crawl is in decent shape. I did find a hole through on the passenger side on the front of it, but once I get the firewall out, I think I might be able to put a plate in there and repair it and grind it and make it look all right without replacing the whole crawl. But if I have to, I'll do that. That's just I'm trying to keep from having to do that, but we'll see how that goes. It's a lot of work, and I'm going to get to it. Thank you.